Hello, welcome to the Snap UK, your home of all news, views, and opinion on this side of the Atlantic. The Thinking Man's podcast for the NFL.
You can tell he's making up on the fly, can't you?
we're still on the hoof here. Despite there's more of us here this week, we're still doing this very much on the hoof. But with me today, Sir Thrash, I have Griff.
You sound like a BDSM character. You want to retract that pretty quickly.
No, he just sounds more like an STD every week.
I promoted myself from Mr. Thrash last week.
Lord Thrash next week.
Yes.
Wasn't that what Max Mosley used to dress as?
You get cream for that. You get cream.
Gilo, GBG, Paul is not here. But
You want to talk about why?
he's watching Scrooged. Because his wife has apparently when his wife says stuff.
I mean, you've gone down a path here and telling us what you think about his wife. Go ahead.
No, when his wife says jump, he says how high, and I don't blame him.
I've met Paul, and the answer is not very fucking
It's
high.
not very high.
It's like an elephant.
But anyway, so week 15, and luckily it's a pretty good one this week. Lots of overtime comebacks. Lots of shitty teams playing well and good teams playing badly. And and Saturday games. So let's start with them. We've got the Friday morning, Thursday game, and then some Saturday games as well. So we had, in that one alone, we had a comeback for the ages, one of the games of the year, San Francisco securing playoffs, and 3 hours of rubbish. But let's start with Colts 36, Vikings 39. And
Should we not start with Colts 33, Vikings 0, which was the score just after half-time?
yeah, it was, once again, like, the Colts seem to find new ways to concede over 30 points in a short manner of time. At half-time, who seriously thought Vikings are going to win this?
Patrick Peterson.
Patrick Peterson
Well,
just kept shouting, 5 touchdowns, guys, 5 touchdowns.
Now,
Because he knew he was trusting the defence to hold the Colts to not many points in the second half, which turned out to be pretty salient. And
the only other person who said they could win, by the way, was me. As I said to Jim, what a comeback this is going to be at like 20-0. And it turned out it really was.
Like I said at the time, stopped clock is right twice a day.
Hi there.
Yeah, hi.
Call me Mr. Clock.
you lot were throwing some shade on the Vikings, though, at the start of this game.
Well,
I wasn't. I wasn't.
I'm not going to
Because
include...
I was having fun.
Jim definitely
did.
rightly so. They were 33-0 down to the Colts.
It's very true.
And it wasn't that the Colts were good.
No.
They gave the Colts so many
Jonathan
points.
Taylor was injured after like 3 minutes.
Yeah.
Like, this is a bad Colts
Blocked
team.
punts,
Bad
interceptions.
coaching. And they were 33-0 up.
But the Vikings' offense is so good.
It is.
And their defense
But
may
they
be
didn't do
inconsistent.
anything in the first half.
The defense may be inconsistent, and we don't know how clutch the quarterback can be. But the rest of the offense around him is ridiculous.
It is. Can I also point out the Colts are terrible. The Colts might be, at this present moment, the worst team in football.
They're the worst tacklers.
They are.
Because they cannot tackle.
I mean, a few weeks ago when I did my power rankings, I had them really low. I thought I was being a bit harsh. I'm good with it now.
No.
I thought they were playing touch rugby.
Yeah.
On that Dalvin Cook slant catch and run at the end.
Yeah.
I literally thought they were playing like they were just trying to get the tags off his
exactly.
back.
Yeah, it was appalling. I still find it hard to trust these Vikings as anything other than bullies. Quite frankly, at the moment, they've come up. They have 3 losses, 2 of them against teams in the NFC East. They lost to the Eagles and the Cowboys, and were humbled by both of them. And they also lost to the Lions last week. But I can't deny it. They keep
You
pulling this out of the
What
bag.
the record says, and that they're now 11-3. But
Yeah.
let's just go back to how bad the Colts are.
Oh yeah, let's start with the fun stuff.
Like Matt Ryan, he's now like the owner of the team who lost the biggest comeback.
4, isn't
yeah, it's 4 out of the top 10 or something.
No, he's got international series, regular series, championship game, and Super Bowl. He owns.
Going well.
He owns all
going
4.
well.
I will
really
point out
well.
this was not
It's not
necessarily on Matt Ryan.
It never is it?
No,
It's not. It's
it
just a
never-
coincidence that he's there.
Yeah, it is a coincidence that he's there. I thought it was more fun to see that the last team to be 32 points up and lose was
The Bills.
no, but the Bills were in the game.
Oh, was it the Titans? Well, no,
Yes,
the
before
Oilers.
the Titans, the Houston Oilers
Yeah.
led 35-3 in the 1992 postseason and lost 41-38 in overtime, which is just a
I got it
disaster.
the wrong way around.
To be fair, Matt
Yeah.
Ryan, I did hear described as only useful to be put in a field ready to be turned into glue by one commentator, which, you know...
Look, Matt Ryan
he
wasn't
is
the
done.
problem.
He is done.
He
done.
didn't. He couldn't lead a comeback because the team just knew they were going to lose. Once they conceded 14 points, they just looked shell shocked. Bearing in mind that was right at the end of the third quarter as well, before they conceded 14 points.
That's what I'm about. Like, but some of it has to be on him, right? Because
They're not moving the ball.
You're that
which-
far up, and you can't hold on to the ball for longer than a series.
Who
longer
gets
than like
Matt
3
Ryan to try and do a weird quarterback sneak with nobody behind him?
No, true.
Yeah,
Like, there was no one to help
Well,
him.
yeah.
Like, he's not exactly a big guy. He's tall, but he
not
weighs
stout.
nothing.
Yeah.
I
That's fair.
I mean, should we just put it out there? We don't think Jeff Saturday is a tactical mastermind here.
Not on Sundays.
Not on, well, it's Saturday.
This was
Saturday.
This was Saturday.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, he is on Sundays, but not on Saturdays.
Yes. Yeah, he was. He's the first coach called Saturday to coach on a Saturday.
No shit.
I know.
You know, the Vikings have won 10 games this season by 8 points or less.
Yeah. Are they still?
They've got
have they got?
one of the lowest points differentials.
Well, they were still in minus
Yeah.
point differential till 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Crazy.
Look, I mean,
Greg
Well, that
Joseph,
means-
though,
well-
nailed that field goal. It's
They,
pretty
they lost by 11 points last week, so they might be in negative point differential
They
again.
may well be. But
I don't know, but yeah.
You may well be right. It was one of, if not the best game I have seen in terms of regular season, up and down. You could not, because you did not know the Vikings were going to win.
No.
Greg Joseph had to nail that, 40-yard field goal to
yeah,
win
it
the
wasn't
game.
an easy one.
It was not an easy game, and you just didn't know. It was absolutely captivating, and that is why I love the game. Because if a team in a football match goes 5 or 6-0 up, you know that game is over. You don't see teams come back from more than 3-0 down. This was
it's pretty
they
rare,
were
yeah.
33 down.
Yeah, and look, as much as we slag off Jeff Saturday, let's give some credit to Kevin O'Connell as well for coaching that, for bringing his team in at half time and getting them to believe they could win, along with Patrick Peterson.
Yeah.
Like, they've still got to go out there and do it and keep believing and keep going ahead and the right play calling in the end and making those adjustments at half time to be able to get them into a winning position.
I did also see this week a lot of chatter around the NFL not being a sport and being an entertainment business, which meant that they were allowed to fix games.
Really? Like wrestling?
Like wrestling.
Is this from Vikings fans who?
No, honestly, there was literally there was loads of chatter on it online this week.
Because I know that a lot of Viking fans are upset because of two big calls.
Yeah, so both times that they turned the ball over and ran it in for touchdowns, they were called back on the play being dead, and neither time was the play dead.
Yeah. I mean, but as well...
The officiating as a rule over the past weekend was horrendous.
Yeah.
It was really bad.
Because I think they scored... One of the touchdowns they scored was from a bad spot, which I think they turned over the Colts on downs.
Yeah.
So... It does, I know the officiating is bad, but generally it's bad for everyone.
If it's bad for everyone, then it's fair. Right?
Yeah.
Well, the thing
I don't
is,
mind-
it can't be true because I've seen some of the 12-6 games that have been and
Not very entertaining.
They're not good.
Well, we're going to get on to Ravens-Browns later. They can't fix it. It's not. Not all of it is an entertainment sport.
Before you do, some point today you're going to ask us to name our sweetest player of the week. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to tell you an early nominee, and it's not going to win it either, but an early nominee for shittest player of the week was Jalen Reagor getting the opportunity twice in this game because Justin Jefferson was out and in the blue medical tent. And both times he had the ball passed to him, the ball was picked off because he stopped his route. The second one was egregious. He literally looked at Kirk Cousins and stopped running, and Cousins threw the ball to where he was supposed to be. And he was like 8 yards short of where he was supposed to be. Jalen Reagor, stick to returns. Just be a returns man. He's okay at that. The rest of it, not so much.
Yeah, I don't see much of a future for him, really.
You want to mention as well Jonathan Taylor leaving the game on the opening drive with 2 yards or something to his name.
That'll be done, wouldn't it?
Yeah, high ankle sprain. He's most likely
he's
out.
gone into injured reserve this evening. Yeah,
done.
So he's done for the season.
Yeah.
Well, and rightly so, because there's nothing for them to play for anymore.
That must be a killer.
Well, if you took him first, technically they are still in the hunt.
If you took him first in fantasy, which you should have done at the start of the season.
You shouldn't have done.
Oh, man.
Oh, I don't know.
No.
90% of people would have said to
Meat
take him.
pan.
You love a meat pan, you do.
And a flash.
But honestly, he was...
Does that even mean? Who knows? It's amazing.
He's a flash in the pan. One season wonder. He was brilliant. But then he was also rubbish for the season before. It just, at least with Derrick Henry, like you could see, like he was consistency. Dalvin Cook,
longevity.
So you think he's an Alvin Kamara?
No, I think Alvin Kamara's better than Jonathan Taylor.
I think he's a DeMarco Murray in the one season that DeMarco Murray had, which was good.
Yeah, maybe.
Suppose we'll see next year.
I think he's going to have the opportunity to come again. But you got to bear in mind that O-line has taken a massive nosedive, and you could have put prime Peterson behind that O-line, and he just wouldn't have been ready.
Yeah. But
right, Bills, Dolphins, John. Move us on.
So Dolphins 29, Bills 32. One of the games of the season.
Last second field goal from Tyler Bass in the snow to win.
In the snow, yeah.
But
both
Mostert
teams
had game of his career, 136 rushing yards.
First time they've gone over 100 rushing yards to the Dolphins, I think, this year.
Is it?
Yeah.
At one point, there were 5 guys trying to tackle him, and he just bowled straight through. It was crazy.
But on the other side, on his day, Josh Allen might be the most complete quarterback in the game.
On his day, and his day isn't every day, but on his day, he's the best quarterback in the league.
Yes.
I would say when he's fit.
I don't think sometimes...
Because he hasn't been fit, has he, recently?
I don't think
fully
bad
fit.
elbow,
I don't think anyone's
Shoulder,
fit all
wasn't
the
it?
time. Yeah.
Shoulder and elbow, but I think him and Mahomes, they would still be the two for me.
Yeah.
And then you've got Burrows just behind,
Yeah.
I would say.
What Josh Allen does running as well.
Yes, that's...
Bearing in mind that they don't have a run game, the Bills, not really. And he makes them a viable running threat on every play.
James Cook is coming through, though.
He's
How's he
improving.
doing, James? You've got the stats?
He had 5 carries for 34 yards.
There you go. Brilliant.
Woo! Number 1 pick next year.
Did he get a few catches as well, though?
2 catches for 5 yards.
Beautiful.
Bam!
Yeah, I mean, he's putting the stats up.
Clear your depth chart, guys.
Absolutely.
It got me 11 fantasy points.
Well,
that's all that matters.
Devin Singletary also got like 9. So, it's a Bills
still
running back.
average,
End of the day, the Bills team's been the same for the last few years. It's all about how good is Josh Allen going to play today, and if he's going to play well, they're going to have a good game. If he's going to play average,
Yeah.
who knows?
No, but they still stick out at the top of the AFC.
It's three losses on the bounce now for the Dolphins.
Yeah.
I mean, they were unlucky in this one. I think the previous 2 have been bad losses.
Yeah.
At least to me, this was a return to what the Dolphins can do.
Two
But they are
played well again this time, though.
yeah.
That was the thing.
Two
Was back.
2 had 17 from 30, 234 yards and 2 touchdowns, no interceptions, 2 sacks. So yeah, he had a good game. In difficult conditions, I know there was a lot made of it, and I think the Dolphins tried to laugh it off almost. But going from Buffalo to Miami, it's not easy.
No.
Like, it's nice and warm in Miami. It's fucking freezing in Buffalo. Did you see the stands?
Like snowballs being thrown as well.
The game was stopped, wasn't it?
Yeah, the game was stopped, and the officials said it would be a 15-yard penalty if any of the Dolphins players were hit with snowballs.
Yeah.
Unsportsmanlike conduct. Because they were just getting pelted. They had to make an announcement to say they're being pelted with snowballs.
On the sidelines.
Just everywhere.
everywhere.
Did you see the seats? They had to clear feet of snow off the seats so they could sit down. It was crazy. brilliant. That's what you like to see.
Yeah, exactly. Those Bills fans are pretty.
I would
hardcore.
love to go to a snow game.
Yeah, it would be awesome.
Oh yeah.
Sure, I would. I was freezing enough for that Eagles game at
Just get some
Wembley.
Jägermeister in you, you'd be fine. Other spirits are available.
Where are they available? Oh no, you're not working for them anymore. It's fine.
My bar.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, anything more to add about these two teams? Bills are in the fight for
They'll
number
both
one
be
pick.
in the playoffs.
Both of them are in the playoffs.
Bills will be one of the favourites for the Super Bowls, as they've been all season.
I still wouldn't want to play the Dolphins.
No.
Yeah,
No.
they're capable of beating anyone on their day.
Yeah. So, 49ers 21, Seahawks 13. San Francisco secure playoff football. Seahawks are on a
Downward,
a sort of Giants,
They've run out
Commanders.
of steam.
Yeah,
They've run out of steam.
They're finding their correct level.
Yeah, they maximised what they could do early in the season, and now the defence is shot again. Gino is levelling out again. Though, to be fair, he wasn't terrible.
He wasn't terrible at all.
Against a good defense.
Yeah.
One of their wide receivers broke a finger. Named Tyler Lockett, which doesn't help, and will probably miss the rest of the season. They're not playing for anything now. They may scrape into the playoffs, but it doesn't matter. What I'm getting at is if they do, they'll just lose in the first round of playoffs. They're not a contender.
No, can agree
So,
more.
but 49ers. So I was saying to John, Brock Purdy now leads all rookie quarterbacks this season in terms of touchdowns thrown. He's only played 2 games.
Which is amazing.
He's thrown 6 touchdowns.
It's pretty good, isn't it?
I think Kenny Pickett's next with 3.
Well, do you know what? A lot of this, for me, comes back to the most important thing we've done all season is to go and get CMC. That is the most important thing we've done since the regular season started. All this talk about Trey Lance, Jimmy G, who should we play, who shouldn't we play? The most important thing we've done is go and get CMC.
And also kind of managed him well as well.
Yeah.
Like, in terms of he's managed to stay fit 'cause it's not all about him.
No.
I mean, I think he had a big game on Thursday, Friday. He had a lot of carries, had a good couple of catches, but previously he's not had that big a workload. They kept him down to 10, 12, 15 carries. Whereas in the Panthers, it was 20, 30 carries.
Henry style.
Yeah, exactly, which he obviously can't handle. And even,
A couple of weeks ago, he looked slow getting up from stuff, and I was like, ooh, I was like, this feels like mine and Griff's bet coming through.
Even if you look at some of the practice reports, it's like, oh, this player was limited. Every week, Christian McCaffrey is limited.
Yeah.
So they're managing him better than the Panthers ever have.
Yeah.
Which is keeping him on the field on a Sunday.
And we paid very little for him.
Yeah.
For the the potential if he could stay fit. And can you imagine being a rookie quarterback, Mr. Irrelevant, and right behind you is CMC? That must help so much.
Also, right in front of you is that offensive line.
Well, and then you've got
Trent
It doesn't
Williams.
matter as well
also got-
because you're starting so far up the pitch because the defense
defense
is
is
lights
just-
out.
And then you've got
Literally lights
Kittle, who's one of the best blocking tight ends in the league. Debo, that's also right there. And I think it's amazing, that we're going to get into the playoffs with 3 quarterbacks. It's only been done twice before or something ridiculous.
It's not often that the team.
And he's just slotted in, and he looks like it's easy.
So here's the thing: he threw 2 touchdowns to Kittle in this game. Their connection looks amazing, and he finished with a pass rating of 115.
Lovely.
Right? Only 2 quarterbacks have ever had 115 pass rating in each of their first 2 games since 1950.
Mahomes.
No.
Is it anyone recent?
Andrew Luck.
Yes.
Andrew Luck.
Andrew Luck.
No.
Cam Newton.
Rodgers.
No. Oh, yes, it's Aaron Rodgers. Yeah. Brock Purdy and Aaron Rodgers are the 2. So, Trey Lance.
Well, here's something I was going to bring up because Jimmy G's contract goes at the end of this summer.
And he will go.
And he will leave.
He will go now, yeah.
He'll be... I mean, if the Jets aren't after him, then the world's gone nuts. Do you have a... I mean, depending on how he recovers, and how, I guess, this season ends, but do you have a question mark at the start of the season of, well, Lance is the guy, but we know with Purdy, it's Jimmy G, the sort of Jimmy G question. You just booted it down the line with a different guy.
It's the same question we had going into this year, but instead of Jimmy G, it's Brock Purdy.
I think it's going to you've got the risk it could turn into the Patriots situation with the Mac Jones and Zappe.
I don't think there's any risk at all. I think Brock Purdy's clearly a better quarterback at this point than Trey Lance, who doesn't look in the least bit ready and is now going to have missed the whole season injured. What makes you think he's going to be ready at the start of next year? Absolutely nothing.
Well, I don't think he will be ready, and they'll be able to blame the injury for that.
Hang on,
Or could they even just trade him?
what a bloody luxury to have, though.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think it's a bad thing.
I don't think they'll trade him, no.
No, you got Brock Purdy, who does a really efficient job. He's playing excellently well, and then you got Trey Lance. What's stopping someone with as good an offensive mind as Kyle Shanahan just scheming up a couple of plays? Some plays for Purdy, some plays for Trey Lance.
I just don't know.
Almost like what Sean Payton did with the Saints. Taysom Hill.
I tell you what stops that is you don't see many teams be successful like that. You need a quarterback, and at the moment, it's not Trey Lance. I would not want my team or any team to carry on down a road that they've got themselves into just because you spent picks on that player. Move on. It's a sunk cost. He's not going to be the man.
I think there's not enough tape yet to say that Trey Lance is done. What did he play, like 3 games?
Not even that,
Two games. Almost 2 games.
Almost 2 games. So you can't. Well, yeah. So right now, obviously, Brock Purdy is more able as a quarterback because he can actually stand up. So that's
a big advantage.
It's a pretty easy statement
Although
to make.
you say that, but did you see that MMA fighter who's got no legs, who won his first fight against a man who's got legs? If you were the man with legs, you would just give up.
I'd be questioning.
Yeah, I'd be thinking MMA might not be for me.
Well, the first thing you do in MMA is you attack the... No, you can't attack the knees. What am I to do?
It's incredible.
Game plan's right up.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Okay.
So let's have a little less fun now. Ravens 3, Browns 13.
How much time do you want to spend on
I
this?
like the fact this was sandwiches between two really good
Two
games.
brilliant games. And this was...
literally the shit sandwich.
Yeah.
Because this was bullshit of a game.
Yeah. I mean, I'm already bored of it.
Ravens are just, like I say, are they in the playoffs yet?
Yeah.
They're not there yet, are they?
No, they're pretty much in.
They're 5th.
But they're probably not going to win the division now, are they? The Bengals are. One going back from the Bengals, but they're probably in. And with Lamar, they look good at times, but they've been in so many tight games that they could have won or lost. They're a well-coached and well-managed team, aren't they, in terms of game management, all that kind of stuff. They know how to win, but they are dull to watch.
They are. I was sat in the car with my brother at the weekend, and he was moaning, saying, "Why don't they just I know that you don't with Lamar, you can, rely on his legs, and you don't need a raft of receivers, but." Lamar misses 5 games a season at the moment. And if you've got receivers, the guys coming in, it would help if they had someone to throw to.
This is one of the things I was thinking about in terms of kind of Lamar and his contract.
He has fucked himself.
He's not going to get a fully guaranteed contract.
No.
Based on the last 2 seasons where he's missed games. So at what point, and this is another problem where the fact that he's represented himself, he doesn't have an agent. But what point does someone turn around and go, sign the fucking contract. Whatever they give you right now, sign it, because you cannot go year to year anymore, because that's such a big risk to your career and earning a shitload of money. He's going to go on the franchise tag next year if he doesn't sign a contract. That's basically 2 one-year contracts where the Ravens haven't got anything invested in him. Sign the contract, get a 5-year deal. You're going to get a shit ton of money. You're not going to get it all guaranteed. It's not going to happen. That's out the window. If it does, then the Ravens are just completely about face in terms of organisation because they're far too sensible for that.
Yeah, but it's and the Browns, it's still not pretty. It's
good
as an organisation. This is what they need to be doing. It's
a defense that steps up when it wants to. There's not a lot of consistency.
This is a big rivalry as well, obviously, and they stepped up because of that. But I wouldn't take them any other day.
No. Even Justin Tucker.
2 missed field goals.
2 missed field goals. And it was
he missed from inside 40 for the first time in over a year. It's crazy.
Yeah.
But
for the Browns,
he's fallible.
Myles Garrett is if he was playing if he was in a competent defense, he'd be up for defensive player of the year again. But
Myles Garrett at the Browns, DeForest Buckner at the Colts, just being wasted. It's shocking.
Yeah, it's poor. Yeah. So let's move on to Sunday, and the Chiefs are just behind the Bills in the playoff spots, but made tough work of beating the Texans, who had another strong outing, followed by a tight loss, following their defeat at Dallas last week.
It's almost like they get ahead and then think, that number one pick.
Now, I don't think they are trying to lose.
Either.
I think they just can't help but lose.
Maybe.
But yeah, and the Bengals are on the march, punishing some sloppy Bucs play in emphatic manner. And the Titans continue to slide as they were outdone by the Chargers. So starting with the Chiefs 30, Texans 24, came to overtime. Joe McKinnon
Isn't it nice to see Jarrett McKinnon?
It's great to see him back. He had such a tough time at San Francisco.
2 years where he didn't play at all.
Yeah.
I was going to say, he didn't have a tough time.
Yeah.
He just fucking lied there. Our accountants had a tough time with Jarrett McKinnon being at the Niners.
He looks like their best running back to me.
Well, that sounds harsh.
I
think as a pair, I think they're good. I think you got Pacheco again. He fills that role to run through the tackles, and then you got McKinnon, who's just that speedster.
Clyde Edwards who?
Sorry,
Clyde Edwards who?
exactly. I mean,
Yeah.
where is he? He's not on the box score.
Clyde Edwards not there.
Yeah. Well, I was going with Clyde Edwards who there, but yeah. I mean,
Yeah. No. Yeah. It's nice to see McKinnon back. But yeah.
if you're going to have one of your worst games of the season on
Oh,
defense,
he is on injured reserve.
it's time to have that game against the Texans
Yeah.
because they are terrible.
They are poor,
But
not as poor as they were. But it doesn't matter.
Could be a nice little wake-up call for the Chiefs.
I don't think you'll see them play this sloppily again on defense all season.
I don't know. I think that I know they're chasing the number one slot, but I think they know that they're taking it easy. When it comes to playoffs, I don't think they want to go in as
Was it 8 years in a row now they've won that division?
8 years.
8?
yeah
8 years.
7 I think
7, is it?
7.
Because the record is 11 by the Patriots.
Yeah.
Remember them. Yeah, but 7.
Oh, he's big on the Patriots. We'll see about that later.
No.
Well.
I asked you if you remembered them.
But yeah,
we remember the Patriots. We'll come on to them.
yeah. I think they went into the playoffs last year a little bit sloppy and underprepared. And I think they'll don't want to do that this year. But Bengals 34, Buccaneers 23.
This was another big lead given away.
Yeah, it was, wasn't it?
17-0, was it?
Yeah, that's
Yep.
right.
And then 4 consecutive turnovers by the Bucks. Brady fumbled through a pick.
There was another fumble as well.
Fournette had a fumble.
Fournette had a fumble. Fournette was terrible and should retire. He's just done as a player.
Playoff Lenny.
If Bruce Arians was coaching this team, you would not get these problems. Todd Bowles is a great coordinator and a terrible head coach. He is a terrible head coach. It's the same as when the Jets played. They would have really good performances for a quarter or a half and then just fold.
Yeah.
And it's exactly the same. It was a daft move to allow Brady to force Arians into the upper part of the office and put a guy in that he gets on with.
What? Why choose Todd Bowles over Byron Leftwich?
It's because that's who Tom Brady wanted.
So, but
Did he still want his man?
he wanted his man as an offensive coordinator.
Calling the plays.
Yeah.
But and let the defense
I
look after
agree.
itself.
Todd Bowles was never anything special at the Jets.
No.
Right, it's the Jets, so But he's a great defensive coordinator.
Do you know-
Byron Leftwich, at least see what you've got there as a head coach.
Do you know my favourite thing is before this game, Brady came out and said that they'd have to play well to beat the Bengals. Good team, good skill players, a fairly tough defence. And apparently after they
Eli
lost,
Apple has taken the piss.
it walked past him and said, "The future's now, old man." Started ripping the piss
Coming
out
from
of him.
Eli Apple.
Yeah,
That is
I
harsh.
think he described it as a fairly tough game.
Giants reject Eli Apple.
Yeah,
Yeah, two of them went for Brady. They got some video of it down the tunnel. It's definitely worth a watch.
the Bengals as well. So some really dumb stuff. Like, did you remember when Bowo had a 27-yard sack because he ran
got away
backwards
with it,
and then got away with it because of a hold?
Yeah.
And
But just throw the ball away. That's basics.
Just
if you're running back that far,
throw the
fucking
ball,
away.
throw the ball away. Like you could, Romo was like, "Why did he throw the ball away?"
Yeah.
But as well, that's just so Bucks to have that sort of sack,
Yeah.
and give it away. And then, I think it was on fourth down, wasn't it? So it just gave them first down again.
They allowed the Bengals to score on consecutive drives of 13, 31, 13 and 39 yards because they kept giving the ball away in their own half. Like, get out of your own way. Win a game. Brady'd never lost 8 games in a season before.
This was a bit on Brady, though, wasn't it? It's like,
he's now thrown 4 interceptions in 2 weeks. He's thrown 3 all season.
Although he's still on target to have his record season for both passing yards, receptions, and I don't know about touchdowns, but
I doubt
touchdowns. He had a 50-yard,
I think
50
yards
touchdown
and receptions or something. He's still on course.
He had never led by 17 points and lost, right? He was 89-0 in games coming into this one. In 23 years, he'd never lost after leading by 17. That is mental. Like, that's crazy.
But to be fair,
Matt Ryan's lost 4 times when leading by like a load more than that.
But to be fair, there's very few times when the Patriots would go 17-0 down, just because there's always good defense.
88 times, it seems.
Yeah, exactly.
But
more talk Brady's going to retire at the end of the season.
He must retire. It's over.
I think he has to, doesn't he?
you think he has to, but...
Just describing how he's going to be a scathing pundit in the booth.
He does have
interesting to see what he would have said about his performance.
He has his TB12.
Brady. Yeah. He said the fumbles, both fumbles and one of the interceptions were on him, and the other interception, the guy just got lucky because it did just land on him while he was laying on the floor. Yeah. But he said it was on me. Yeah. Wasn't the handoffs were terrible?
Yeah, the one that
he got hit. Yeah,
he got hit. And it was an incredible catch by the defender.
One of the fumbles was a really bad handoff as well to the running back, where he literally threw it into Leonard Fournette's chest.
It's just
look. But the biggest difference, Brady kind of comes out and said, "That's on me."
Yes,
Aaron Rodgers would never have done that.
No, he wouldn't.
Just why Brady's better than Rodgers.
One of several reasons.
Yeah.
One of at least 5 other.
A better leader than
if
Rodgers.
you compare, because we've just had the World Cup final in football. Yeah. If we compare the two, Brady's Messi, Rodgers is Ronaldo, isn't he?
Yeah, absolutely.
Like one of them can take the blame. The other one,
the other one wants the limelight and goes off by himself.
Exactly. But let's move on. Derrick Henry 14, Chargers 17. Which is actually a little unfair because
they did throw a touchdown.
The Titans' defense was brilliant this game, and they held the Chargers to 17 points, and what Herbert had to do to get those 17 points was incredible. Like Herbert at his best, But Tannehill, it's not his fault, but he was playing injured. Willis came in for a little bit. His leg was taped up. He's got no one really to throw to anyway.
Westbrook-Akina? What are you trying to say?
I'm saying he's shit.
It's all about Dick of the kicker.
Dick of the kicker.
Because the Chargers have never had a good kicker.
Yeah,
in all the time we've been doing this podcast.
I wonder how they're going to ruin it.
Yeah, it does.
They'll find a way. As soon as he misses one kick, they'll get rid of him and bring in someone else.
They'll probably get to the playoffs.
Dick of the kicker makes
and then
the
he'll
balls
fuck it up, won't he? Yeah. He'll go full Parky.
I mean, I assumed he would kick it and it would be a doink and they'd say he's hit the shaft. And that would be amazing if he could do that.
Titans have got to play Texans and Cowboys. If they lose both of those and the Jags win both of those games, it's just not inconceivable.
No.
It's Jaguars v Titans for the AFC South.
Yeah.
Last game of the season at the Jaguars.
And, oh man, we'll get on to the Jaguars, but the Titans just don't see people get out of their own way at the moment.
I just think they look tired.
They
as
do.
As an organisation, they look like they need a refresh.
Yeah.
And maybe getting a new GM in will help that.
That's it.
I think if they weren't top of the AFC South and in what has been a bad division, I think they'd be almost...
They'd be out of the playoffs.
They'd be out of the playoffs, but they'd be pleading for the end of the season just so they can restart.
Left, didn't he?
AJ Brown left, and the Soul left as well.
AJ Brown was... No, but he is a huge player. Absolutely huge. Probably top 5 wide receivers.
Yep.
Definitely top 10.
Last time the Titans lost 4 in a row?
2015?
2015, yes. 2015. Marcus Mariota, obviously.
Yeah.
I'm bound to have been. But yeah,
they were
7 years.
To be fair.
Has anyone found him yet, by the way? Marcus Mariota, he's still just wandering around in his salt somewhere still.
The Titans were a joke of a franchise for a long time.
Is anyone injured? What's he down as? A damaged ego?
Mariota.
Yeah.
Calm down. We'll get to him.
Yeah, Jesus.
We'll get to Marcus.
Hatred for Marcus Mariota. at the
I've
moment.
always had hatred for Marcus Mariota.
Yeah. For the Chargers, I mean, Mike Williams being back helps that team so much.
Yep.
But yeah.
This is a game that the Chargers should have won by a lot more. It's typical Chargers.
Yeah. They're still in the
almost threw
playoffs.
it away.
They're the 6th seed. But anyway, we'll get on to who's going to be in the playoffs. I just don't trust the Chargers at all. But yeah, that's just me. So, in the following pack, it was a day to forget for the Patriots and the Jets, but the Jaguars finally have back-to-back wins and are making a late case to overcome the Titans with an overtime statement win over the Cowboys. But let's start with all of our favourite teams, apart from Gary. Lions 20, 17 Jets. The Lions did all they could to, it seems, to help the Jets stay in this game as long as possible before a 4th down, 50-yard touchdown to Brock Wright, their tight end. It wasn't the Lions at their best, but this Jets defense is a standout
Good
defense
offense versus a good defense.
Yep.
That made it a tight match. And
I think
if Mike White would have been in there.
What makes it a tight match is that Zach Wilson played and he's terrible.
Yeah,
It's just highlighted how bad he is. He comes back in and they've lost all the momentum they've been building up.
Look as bad as he looked before.
no.
His interception was at a really bad time, and it's really bad.
I've tried to give him time.
Yeah, he didn't look.
And even I am coming on board with
Yeah.
Griff's. He is
I'm
fucking
not saying he's good, but I'm saying
I mean, what more evidence do you need?
I'm not denying that, but I'm saying in this game he wasn't as bad as he has
I get
been.
so much shit for being harsh on young quarterbacks,
No,
but some of
he
them
is
I
bad.
just grab
Yeah,
from
no,
the off.
I-
He is one of them.
I agree with you on that, but I'm just saying he wasn't as bad as he has been in this game.
In all fairness, they could have they could have had this game tied up. Greg the leg came on, 58-yard field goal attempt, went wider than 58 yards, I think. But
Went out for a throw-in, didn't it?
yeah, I think it did. It was, but once again, the Jets can't get over the line because they do not have a game winner at quarterback, and that is what it's
They
about.
also couldn't run the ball on Sunday either. They had
So
22
the previous
attempts,
week's
50 yards,
the previous week's rookie of the week was Bam Knight.
Zonovan.
Yeah, they call him Bam. How many yards did he get this week?
He got 23 off 13 carries.
Yeah, great.
It does look prime for Jimmy G to just walk in there to link up with Salah, doesn't it?
Jimmy G or Derek Carr.
I think Jimmy G. It's perfect.
Yeah, it's got
for
the
Jimmy.
relationship with
Yeah.
Salah. Yeah.
It would.
Like, if you stick Jimmy G into that team, a fit Jimmy G, that team would be excellent for 4 weeks every year.
I agree with you, but I don't see why they don't just stick with Mike White. Like the weeks he's been in, he's been decent.
Because you can afford to get Jimmy G as well.
I think you can afford to get Jimmy G, and you can still have Mike White as your backup. And you just see what you can get for. There'd be some sort of quarterback whisperer who'd fancy a go on Zach Wilson.
Sorry?
Well, you know.
Okay, move on. Awkward.
Fancy a go on.
The Lions won again. They're 7-7.
They are. They are.
6 or 7.
6 or 7.
They've won.
Are we finally going to get a Gary apology to the Lions and Dan Campbell?
Oh, we did apologise.
No.
He wasn't here. We apologise.
We
on his
apologise
behalf.
on his
Oh,
behalf.
that's it, yeah.
I would like to apologise to Aidan Hutchinson that I didn't give enough credit to him about how his influence would affect all parts of their game, whilst Dan Campbell was still walking around like a meathead.
Boo. That's
But
bullshit.
also, well done, Dan Campbell.
Fair enough. I'll take that. That's an apology.
From me, that's pretty good.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, I'm still going to get the full apology out of you by the end of the year.
We'll see.
When they get
if
into- when
they
they
get
get
in the
into
playoffs, I will apologise. Then I might give a shit.
I'm just trying to work out. They'd have to
win out. But
they'd have to win out to. I was just wondering if we can get them
2
to
wins
play the
would probably
49ers.
They've got the Panthers, Bears, Packers are the last 3 games.
they
could
could easily
win
win all
out.
3 games.
yeah.
In which case, they could be playing you guys, which would be
Hilarious.
funny as fuck, quite frankly. Patriots 24, Raiders 30. How to grab defeat from the jaws of draw. I mean, once again, another comeback. The Raiders can't hold on to leads of 13, 14 points. And Jacoby Myers may be colourblind. Let's go with that.
What was the best part of this game was watching the WhatsApp chat between Chase and Griff. It's like, no, my team's shitter. No, my team's shitter than yours. No, it's my team.
Hey, like, whenever we talk about NFL, Chase doesn't just talk about the Raiders. You know, we checked this all the way back to October, didn't we, John? Yeah. To find the last message in that group where Chase doesn't reference the Raiders.
Yeah, we had to go back to September.
Brilliant.
The first thing is, I know. A lot of it is when you're talking about something else. You go, yeah, but at least the Raiders are giving away 40 points a game. You're like, what the fuck does that mean?
But
come on, let's
what we all want to hear really is how Michael is coping with this.
I didn't watch this game.
Have you watched it since?
No, I've erased it from my memory. I can't remember a single thing about it. Did we win?
We want you to be honest.
No.
I refer you to week 8, I think it was, when I said Bill Belichick looks like a befuddled old man wandering about on the sidelines. He's lost, since we last won a Super Bowl, Brady, Gronk, James White, Junior Edelman, Dante Scarnecchia, Patrick Chung, if you like, yeah. The other Hightower, right?
J.C. Jackson.
Yeah, you take all the Stephon Gilmore, take all these players out of any team and the coaching, and Josh McDaniels, out of any team, the team will struggle. It's 3 years in a row now.
You've got Matt Patricia back.
I was going to say, you lost Matt Patricia.
Matt Patricia's coach on the wrong side of the ball. Yes. So you take all of that lot out of any team, and the team will struggle. This is 3 years in a row now. We scraped into the playoffs last year and then lost by 40 to the Bills in the playoffs, or 35. It's 3 terrible years in a row where people have made excuses and said, well, it'll come back because it's Bill. It won't. He either has to make wholesale changes, as in complete restructure, and let someone else help him, or he has to go, because he's verging into Tom Landry territory where he had 10 years where the Cowboys they were winning 5 games a season. So it's that or go. And I hope Robert Kraft puts that to him and says, because this is all on Bill. This is entirely on Bill now, because the Myers should have been cut. Right, 5 years ago, if he'd have done this on the Patriots, Jacoby Myers would have walked off the field and been cut as he crossed the sideline. They'd have just said no. But they can't, because they've got no one else. So they can't even do anything about this terror. It was entirely Myers' fault. No one said to him, make sure you throw the ball 30 yards backwards.
He came out and said afterwards, he goes, I was trying to do too much. I was trying to be a hero.
He panicked.
Yeah, which is fine. And as a funny aside, Chandler Jones had the most yards after catch in the game out of anyone, by the way. He did 40 yards after catch and stiff-armed his way through our quarterback. The other thing I'll say is, genuinely, so Belichick is the problem, is one. The other thing is, if I was the Patriots, the last 3 games of the season, you would see Bailey Zappi at quarterback, because there is no point continuing to play Mac Jones. He is frustrated with what's going on. He's trying to throw to Nelson Aguilar and Jacoby Myers. Plays the pay, see what you've got, because we handed the keys back to Mac Jones when he's done nothing to earn it all season.
Mac Jones was acting like a little brat.
Yes, he was.
All game.
And he needs to be benched.
You've not got an easy running as well.
No, we won't win any of the last 3 games.
Bengals, Dolphins, Bills.
It's tough.
Not a chance. This was the game.
Man, we're going to have to give Paul some money.
Yeah.
Yes.
The Jets and the Dolphins. The Jets and the Dolphins both lost. The Patriots would have been the 6th seed, and instead they're outside the playoffs because they couldn't secure victory.
Kraft is going to struggle if you finish bottom of that division. He is going to
play Bailey Zappi in the last 3 games and see what you've got, because Mac Jones has not earned it this season. He's a system quarterback, and we took the system away.
He's going to walk into massage parlours and people should laugh at him.
That's as concise as I can be.
Apparently, they are very keen for Bill to make changes in the coordinators because
because he brought in 2 mates and a son.
This is what Steve Bruce does.
Yeah,
that's what Alex Ferguson did.
Well, yeah, but he was also winning. But
yeah, it helps if you're winning. You can do that.
That's as polite and concise as I can be. They are the 2 issues. Bill has to change or leave, and Mac Jones should be rested for the rest of the season, because what are you going to learn in the last 3 games from Mac Jones? Nothing.
As well from the Raiders.
Raiders cannot defend. They cannot hold a lead at all.
No. And second half, Derek Carr was appalling.
But here's why. Because in the first half, they ran everything through Jacobs and looked brilliant. And then they tried to go...
Stopped it again.
Yeah. And then they go away from that, and Derek Carr suddenly looks vulnerable because he hasn't got the time to throw. The O-line's not very good, and they always know he wants to go to Adams, so they just double him.
But Josh
Mac
McDaniels,
Hollins had a great game, but...
I know the Raiders can't afford to sack him anyway, but Josh McDaniels is definitely safe next
Yeah,
week.
yeah, yeah. He's pulled it back. Good for him, right? Because that is what the Patriots are missing. They have nothing on offense to go through. Ramondre Stevenson had a great game. He started the laterals. I don't really know why, but whatever. He had a really good game. We've done this recently without Harris.
Just go to overtime.
Yeah.
Well, I think
You were the.
Shall I tell you why? Because they thought they were a point down. That apparently they had completely misjudged it. And that is coaching because they did not communicate the fact that they could have just taken a knee.
They could have just taken
and they didn't do it, and it's stupid.
Does Bill's eyesight not go as far as the scoreboard now?
It's because there's so much confusion
I
amongst
don't
Bill and the
believe
coaches.
that. I don't believe that at all. But I think what happened was Ramondre Stevens started running, expected, just meet the first line of defence, get taken down, the clock goes. He went through it. He went through.
Yeah. So surely you have a huddle.
You take a knee. You take a knee. You're hammering the Raiders in the second half. You take a knee, and whatever happens at the toss, you're confident that you're going to get the point.
I just need to just confirm my understanding of how NFL works because, as far as I was concerned, they have a huddle where a play is called, so everyone knows what everyone's doing, and then they do it.
Yeah.
So how in 30 seconds? But 12 seconds, is there that much confusion?
Well, no, I think he went through the defence, and suddenly I think he starts to panic, thinking, I can make a play here. Because he sees Myers next to him, who's free. Myers then gets this ball and is like, what the fuck do I do with this?
What is or was the Patriots' mantra?
Do your job.
Do your job.
And what did they not do?
Their job.
Right, and that is it. That is all you need. We are no longer buttoned up as a team, and it shows. We've gone from being mentally the best to mentally one of the weakest teams in the league.
It was why the Patriots were so good, because they might not have had the best players, but each player had a very specific job to do, and just that job.
With the exception of Gronk, the players I named you at the start of this section would be nothing special on other teams.
It's why players left the Patriots and went
struggled
elsewhere and weren't as good. Chandler Jones aside.
Even Chandler Jones, until you threw him the ball, he did fuck off.
I mean, to be fair, he was decent at the Cardinals.
The stiff arm on Mac Jones.
Was like Paul said to me, it's like watching Joe Malone go over Mike Cat.
It was
hilarious.
Even I laughed at that. But what a fucking disaster.
I mean,
it feels very Moyes Man United.
I will be very upset if Bailey Zapata isn't playing this week.
But on to also some very funny stuff. Cowboys 34, Jaguars 40. Jags. I mean, the last few weeks, Lawrence is a fucking mate. He might not be the next Peyton Manning that we were sold.
I don't know.
But he's good, isn't he? He is good.
I tell you what he is. He might be the next Andrew Luck.
Yeah.
He may not be Peyton Manning.
Well, for the last few, if you just take the last 4 games in isolation, he lives up to that. Oh yeah, he's a generational talent.
Yeah.
Because that's what the billing was.
You cannot
And you
take
can see
anything
it now.
from last season.
No.
Urban Meyer was a disgrace to the league. So take it this season and look at what you're getting.
Just
He's
see.
getting better every week.
Every single
and
week.
Andrew Luck won, 5 games in his first season? They were terrible.
And he is throwing to Marvin Jones and Zay Jones, and he's making
And
them
Christian
look
Kirk.
and Christian Kirk, but he's making even Marvin Jones
One
and
of them,
Zay Jones look
one
really
of them every
good.
week. One of those three.
He
steps
picks
up.
a different one each week, it seems, and makes them look a fucking superstar.
Can we not credit Doug Pedersen?
Yes.
He
He's a good coach.
He is doing a really solid job. I mean, the way he ended up out of the Eagles was unfortunate, but let's not forget the guy won a Super Bowl with Nick Foles.
And Carson Wentz. Like, he got to the Super Bowl. We got to the playoffs with Carson Wentz.
And I think we can all agree that Trevor Lawrence is better than either of those quarterbacks.
Yes.
Oh yes.
So
100%.
next season, this division will be the Jags division to take.
Yeah. If they carry on building, I mean, they've got draft capital, they've got actual cap space. Like they already brought in Calvin Ridley. If he comes back half the player he was.
I mean, what a pickup that is looking like, because, I mean, every week.
Strengthen the offensive line, the defense is good as well. Okay, they gave up 34
Etienne's
points.
still. Etienne's
They gave 34 points to the Cowboys. Like, that's fine.
That defense is decent.
really good.
Tell me about the Cowboys. Tell me how they managed to bungle this so badly. It was some poor play from Dak.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is.
Do you know what? I stopped. That came out. I was like, yeah, he's fine, and I didn't buy into the hype. And then I thought, yeah, he's pretty good. I'm back to he's fine. He's a good Jimmy G.
They not just remind you of the Vikings.
Yeah,
It's
a
a
little
really
bit.
great
A little
point.
bit, yeah.
Like,
They've got good skill
they
players.
score a lot of points on offense. The defense gives up too many points. They bully the bad teams.
Dak
normally.
or Chris or
I'd go Cousins.
Cousins.
and
I
would
think
also
Cousins
say
make
Cousins.
at the moment he's
makes less
making less mistakes.
I just think Dak is very hot and cold.
Yeah.
There's no consistency. He's either brilliant or below average. And like I
some
say,
of
the surrounding talent helps him, but
one of the picks, the pick that won the game, his bicep was hit, and it was a superb interception, right off the floor. One of them was on Dak. It was a force. He's forcing stuff.
forcing it in.
Forcing
That
it
was
in.
Sean Watson. Sorry.
Whee. But yeah, now anyway, let's finish here. We'll have a break and we'll come back and do the rest of the NFC. Okay, welcome back. So on to the NFC now, and the Eagles remain out in front. Jalen Hurts once again using his legs to devastating effect in a closer than you'd expect win at the Bears. Eagles 25, Bears 20.
Would have been worse if anyone could have kicked. It was just too windy, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was tough conditions out there, wasn't it?
Sorry, what?
What?
We saying Jalen Hurts can't play in tough conditions? Because
We're talking about kickers, weren't we?
we make this thing about Trey Lance not being able to play in Chicago, and
Trey Lance is not a kicker.
No,
Just kickers.
just
Just
kickers.
kickers.
The
okay.
kickers was
Just
bad.
kickers.
Yeah.
Because
Jalen-
Jalen Hurts had a 2021 Jalen Hurts game. Let's be honest.
Yeah, but he still scored 3 touchdowns
With his legs.
With his legs.
And
Yeah.
the conditions were nothing like when the Niners played there. They played in a monsoon.
Yeah, he threw 2 interceptions.
You've written here, Hurts could be missing a week or two. Is that a concern for fantasy owners?
You mean
Yeah.
you, John?
It's a concern for you, yes.
It is. But
I
because
hope so, because I'm playing you. So I hope it's concerning you.
Do you know why it's not a concern for me? Because we get to see Gardner Minshew, and I know how much that winds you up.
I don't mind Gardner Minshew.
Oh, shut up.
What I hate,
You hate Gardner Minshew.
He
What
hates-
Gary
he
hates
hates-
me.
I hate
He hates
Minshew
Minshew
mania.
mania.
I hate Minshew mania. I actually think Gardner Minshew's quite a talented quarterback. I think he's a little unlucky that he's playing behind someone in the MVP race. Whereas if he was playing at the Jets,
Panthers.
the Panthers, he'd be
I'm
probably
sorely
starting
tempted
it.
this week to replace Tom Brady in my team in the semi-finals of fantasy with Gardner Minshew. Just for a
Please
laugh.
don't.
He's one of the most picked up players in fantasy so far this
I'm
week.
serious, yeah.
I'm seriously
Yeah.
tempted to do that. I think it'd be hilarious.
Please don't.
Why?
Because I've already got a waiver request in for Gardner Minshew. Because I don't want to have to play Aaron Rodgers. But yeah, I mean, for the Eagles, this was a tough game. They came through it. It feels like
Did both quarterbacks miss time in this game? Did Jalen Hurts actually exit the game at any point? Because Fields did, didn't he? Because I actually heard
Fields
Nate
did.
Peterman come onto the field.
Fields did, came back. I mean, if I don't really know why they are persisting with playing at Hurt Fields, because I mean,
Seems a bit
there's
crazy.
nothing. I mean, apart from maybe his rushing record, having the most rushing yards as a quarterback, Jalen Hurts is one behind Cam in the most touchdowns from rushing touchdowns from a quarterback in a season. He's
How many behind Cam is he? Do we know?
one.
One. Oh, right.
It's almost like he missed the last 10
I
seconds.
did,
of what you
I was
said there.
doing something.
Yeah, sorry. So if
Looking at porn again.
think
I was making a
he's
claim
at
for Gardner
13. I think
Gardner Minshew.
I think he's at 13. I think the record's 14. So
So
yeah.
you expect him to break it if he's fit then?
If he's fit, I think part of the issue for the Eagles is they've not announced he's injured.
Not going to, are they?
So-
he's going to be questionable all the way up until Sunday morning,
Yeah.
and then it'll be out or in.
Well, why would you play him?
Because it's the Cowboys.
But it doesn't matter, does it? They
Well, no,
still
the
won
Cowboys.
division.
Yeah, no, they are
It's getting the number 1 seed.
number
though,
1
isn't it?
seed.
Yeah.
They
The Vikings that are behind them.
they've still. I think they've got to play the Cowboys twice.
Yeah, I think maybe play him this week, maybe, and then rest him after. But I think that would be crazy to play him slightly injured. Like, yeah, don't get me wrong. Number 1 seed, really important if you've got a shot at it.
They get Dallas Goedert back this week as well.
Yeah.
Wow.
But like the Eagles team were nowhere near the playoffs last year, so like,
they've
massive progress.
They were in the
They were the playoffs.
Yeah, but they were nowhere near it. Did you see them? They were terrible.
They were
They
fine.
didn't actually play in the playoffs, did they?
Yeah.
They got to the playoffs.
They got to the
No,
playoffs.
they did, but they didn't actually play. They just got like, everyone was just back on your "we hate Jalen Hurts" train.
They definitely played in the playoffs.
They
last
I know
year.
they played, but they didn't actually do anything in the game.
Oh, right, no, they lost.
That's my point. Fucking hell. Right.
Oh. Okay. Fine. Yeah.
I know they were in the playoffs.
Get control of this thing, John.
They were in the playoffs.
Shut up.
They didn't do anything.
Sick of your hurt slander. Not really much to say. Eagles good.
Feels
Bears
good.
bad.
Phil's looked good. He went out injured, came back, but still.
Yeah, but
They need to put some things around him.
Yeah,
It's
Justin
left
Fields
away.
has played very well in 2/3 of this season so far, but he's not got the record to show it because they just don't have any bits on the team.
Bears currently hold the number 2 pick and pick the best offensive tackle you can.
Yeah.
Got to protect him.
Yeah.
You can pick
They
up- you
need
can pick up-
so
Oh,
many
no, you can
things.
pick up a wide receiver in free agency.
They
Go and
they
protect
need
him
so
for the
much
next
stuff.
10 years.
I don't know.
They do have a lot of cap space.
Yeah.
They cleared up a load, didn't they, at the start of this year?
Yeah. And that's the thing. It's like I don't think they'll be able to bring much in because for one, I don't think there's a lot available this summer. But it also means that effectively there's not a lot of shit like hanging around for the.
So I
rest
look forward to seeing Kenny Golladay being overthrown by Justin Fields.
Well, I imagine Kenny Golladay will be just staring as Justin Fields runs past him, but it's fine. And the Giants win, and that helped Cowboys cement a playoff pace and gave New York some breathing room over Washington. So the Giants 20, the Commanders 12.
The who?
The Commanders,
That's going to be tough, I think, for the Giants to lose that playoff spot now. Should be.
It should
Especially
be.
with the draw as well.
There's a couple of teams on the rise, but I say a couple of teams. There's the Lions, but
Lions are the big
Yeah, that's the
But
thing.
you've
got.
I was very disappointed by the Communards. I didn't want them to leave me this way, but it was. Thank you. But it was.
That's very
It was. But this
there
was
thinking about that,
poor.
haven't
Yeah, I did. Yeah, this was poor. This was the
This was
worst
bad.
game for about 6 weeks from them.
they've been.
They've been on a roll, man.
The defense managed to highlight Heineke's deficiencies as a quarterback, and he's been playing. He's still been playing better than Wentz,
Yeah.
but he's still not a elite quarterback. He's just a fun quarterback, and Thibodeau had a good laugh.
Another big game for Brian Robinson, though.
Yeah,
Like 12 carries at 89 yards, that's 7 yards a carry.
yeah,
For a man, let's not forget, who got shot in the arse.
Shot in the arse. Twice?
twice. Yeah,
If I'd been shot in the arse, I'd still be laying in the hospital right now.
I mean,
I've got a substantial arse.
yeah. I mean, the guy. I mean,
To be fair, Brian Robinson's got a substantial ass as well. He's a big guy.
He runs like a bullet, doesn't he? Like, it's absolutely flies.
okay, yeah. Wow, it took me a while to go. You're going there.
I'll do better with the Communards.
I thought as well. I heard Bullock, and I was like, I've never seen Randy Bullock run.
I don't think Randy Bullock can run.
No, you can barely kick anymore.
Walks up to the ball and gives it a good slog. But
Yeah, I think the nice thing is that gives for the Giants, it gives us some breathing room over the Commanders because the Lions are chasing back.
Do you know who else had a good day? Juan Dotson.
you did
He
have
had
Yeah.
a good day, 105 yards off 4 receptions.
Yeah.
And
Brilliant
that
catches
that
as
is the
well.
sort of thing you'll get from Heineke. He will just go down. He's just a poor Brett Favre.
Yeah.
He's just going to hurl it down the field. But I like that.
I think Heineke's got the job nailed on for next
I
year.
do as well.
Yeah,
Which he should have had this year,
Yeah.
which I did say. Anyway, but well done. The Giants definitely needed that.
yeah. According to
What's
the
your
ES
run-in?
got the Cowboys. I can't
Get
remember.
more divisional games than we did at the end of the year.
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
the last two are always divisional games.
Vikings, Colts, Cowboys.
Maybe not the last two.
That's. I mean,
So we've probably got one win out of that.
yeah.
Well, I mean,
Oh no, sorry, Vikings, Colts,
Eagles.
Eagles.
Eagles could be resting players.
Eagles
Yeah,
could.
they could
They
be.
They did last couple of years. They have wasted players right at the end of the season.
They've wasted a lot of players as well.
Yeah, yeah. Thanks. Got a speech impediment. That's fine. Take the piss.
I will.
So in the NFC South, nobody seems competent enough to win. The Panthers failed to make most of the Bucks' tough matchup with the Bengals, losing to the Steelers, who are finding some late season form as they try to get a 16th straight winning season for Tomlin.
I mean, they need to win out to do that,
They do.
and that's not going to happen.
Can't see it happening at all.
But, I mean, compare the Steelers this week to where they were 8 weeks ago. It's a much better, but they've got TJ Watt back, who is probably one of the most effective defenders in the league.
Got Mitch Trubisky back as well.
Mr. Biscuits,
He played all right.
He's all right.
Like,
average.
He is all right.
He's fine. Like, he's gonna win against bad teams, which the Panthers are. Let's not forget that.
And
Kenny Pickett is not going to be that much better than Mitch Trubisky. I just don't.
No,
believe
I think Gary might be right.
well, Deontay Johnson was asking for Mason Rudolph,
Yeah.
which
It
means
is
that
nearly Christmas.
maybe Deontay Johnson has been hit in the head too
He's
many
looking for
times.
approval for that joke.
Yeah, I know.
You believe it?
Yeah, I know.
I know. We make it every year.
Not one person said ho ho ho. Nothing.
Like the fact that John just glossed right over it.
Someone had to make it. Paul's not here.
You've got to thumb it in on Paul's behalf.
Yeah.
Probably what he's doing right now.
Probably. Yeah.
He's not being Scrooged.
Elsewhere, Saints drew level with the Falcons, one behind this fucking waste of a division.
I mean, it really is bad, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, the Bucks might be the 5th worst team in the NFL right now.
I thought the AFC South was going to be bad. This is NFC South is just shit.
Yeah.
no other word for
if you win the division, but you don't have a winning record, you should be at least made to give up the home field advantage.
Before the Saints got good for a while, though, this division was bad, wasn't it?
It always used to be bad.
The Bucks win a Super Bowl, then get shit.
Yeah.
And
The Falcons have been up and down for years.
Panthers have never been good.
Well,
They've had two. They were good in the 90s, and then they were good again under Rivera for a couple of years.
Yeah. Both the Panthers and Falcons have got to
But
Super Bowls
never been
in relatively recent history.
Yeah, never been consistently
No.
good, have they?
No,
This is just, I mean,
Yeah. And
Not a powerhouse division, is it? Come on.
no.
and the Saints are a patent away from being appalling. That's what. Yeah, they were bad before. They've been bad after. But so Steelers 24, Panthers 16. Steelers did enough.
It did not help that the Steelers shut down the only good thing about the Panthers, which had been their run game since CMC left. Donta Foreman and Chuba Hubbard had been playing brilliantly, averaging 100-odd yards a week. But they combined for 14 carries for 19 yards between them.
yeah. It's,
And Watt and co were just destroying
Even
them.
Darnold couldn't move off his feet
Sam
either.
Darnold had more rushing yards than Deonta Foreman. Deonta Foreman had 10 carries. Sam Darnold had 2.
And Sam Darnold looked poor as well in this game.
Yeah.
I mean,
But it's what the-
14 and 23, 225 yards and a touchdown. He was sacked 4 times. They could not protect him. He was fine. Like, he was no better or worse than Mitch Trubisky. They're about the same level. That's what these
Both
players are.
backups.
Mitch Trubisky is definitely better than Darnold.
I wouldn't say that.
I don't think either of them are consistent enough for you to say that. Sam Darnold's had some good games. When he rushes, he has good games.
We didn't rush.
No, but he couldn't. And
No, that's it. Yeah.
Once
they
you
couldn't.
force him to
And-
stand there and pass, his decision making is terrible.
Yeah.
And that's what
it.
cost him his job before.
What the Steelers can do, though, they can bully quarterbacks on their good days, and that's what they did.
Lean on the defense and have
Yeah.
an average quarterback. That'll get you a long way.
Najee Harris,
Better.
Yeah, it's not a down season compared to where he was last year, isn't it?
Yeah. I feel for. Like, did you remember him at the start of the season? They're like, "Oh, did you enjoy your off season? Did you do anything?" And he was like, "No, just practice." And you're like, "Maybe have a holiday this year, mate."
TJ Watt's first half sack was the 75th sack he's had in 84 career games. So that's the third fastest player to reach 75 sacks since 1982. Do you want to have a guess at the 2 ahead of him?
Since 1982.
Well, that was when it first became a stat.
All right.
So only 2 players have got there in fewer than 84 games.
LT.
No.
Oh, bloody hell.
One of them is very recent.
JJ Watt.
Yes, JJ Watt.
So his brother.
Yeah, so his brother and one other.
Derek Watt.
No, but we did cheer when we heard Derek Watt's name this
Good get
weekend. Yeah, Derek Watt did pick up a first down.
Guy who played for the Eagles and the Vikings. Reggie White.
It was Reggie White.
Nice.
65 games to get to 75 sacks.
He was incredible.
What a sack master.
You'll get a laugh for that. Falcons 18, Saints 21.
Oh, I don't want to talk about this.
Yeah.
Because it's just...
Should we, in fact, let's see if that... Let's start speed round.
Hold on. Desmond Ridder did play.
He did.
We should talk about that. Because
I mean, Desmond Ridder had one of the worst games of a quarterback this season, if not the worst game of a quarterback. What do you want? Marcus Mariota plays this game, then the Falcons win.
Yeah, I agree.
But as we know, he's on IR with a damaged ego.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
But
But yeah, they
they picked the wrong week to play Desmond Ridder because this was a winnable game in a division. Why would you do this?
Yeah.
It was a terrible decision. 97 yards.
Because they didn't think after winning 5 games they might have a chance of winning.
Yeah, but
the
they
division.
came into the bye to knowing, we've got a divisional game. And
That's
if
probably
we
why
beat-
they did it, because
if
they
we-
gave them the bye.
I know, but if we beat the Saints, we're right up there in the division.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's just
97 yards he had, and he had 38 rushing yards or 6 attempts, which is fine. But looking at how well he did rushing, I can't help but think Mariota would have doubled that.
yeah.
Because they couldn't stop him. So, I don't know. It was a frustrating decision by a mixed-up franchise that doesn't seem to know where it's headed.
Algier.
In the last few weeks, we have talked about the fact that the Mariota experiment didn't seem to be working, and they were going to have to move on. So
I just don't think it was the game.
This
before
wasn't a
it.
game for it. Tyler Algier, 17 carries, 139 yards and
good
touchdown.
season.
He's made himself the running back one there. Cordero Patterson is still
now a gadget player.
Yeah.
That's it, yeah. No, I like it. But yeah, it's still rubbish.
Was it Drake London who got dropped or he? fumbled at the end?
He fumbled it right at the end, and that's yeah.
And we should give props to Andy Dalton. I hate it, but 11 of 17 for 151 and 2 touchdowns.
It's against the
That was
Falcons.
I know, but it was efficient. In games where he's not pressured, he's still efficient. He'll be around as a backup until his legs fall off, because that's what he is.
So in games where you're playing a defense that's terrible,
Yeah.
it's okay to
He's
Andy
a career
Dalton.
backup. That's what he is.
Yeah. Okay. But can either of them catch the Bucks?
Yeah.
Probably, yeah.
Probably. We'll get into that. We'll look at their schedules.
Could trip over themselves, yeah. But yeah.
Okay. And can the Steelers get to a winning season?
No.
I mean, they can, but
If it was a-
legitimately,
yeah, they can.
If it was a 16-game season,
yeah.
then yes. But it's not. And they will not win 3 games.
No.
I agree.
So, speed round. Because these games have
2
no
games.
playoff any implications and are shit. Cardinals 15, Broncos 24. Who's the biggest waste of money, Kyler or Wilson?
For
Neither of them played this game.
me, Kyler Murray.
Yeah, I'm going Kyler.
I'm going Russell Wilson.
I'll go Kyler just to give a.
Russell Wilson
no,
has still come.
There's a reason. Well, I would argue the reason why is because Kyler Murray is still young, and
Yeah.
actually he hasn't been awful this season. Russell Wilson has been terrible,
He has been
and he's
terrible.
older. So
2
yeah,
seasons.
Kyler
like
Murray's
Kyler Murray's-
injured now.
Yeah,
don't get me
it's
wrong.
2 seasons. He's missed substantial time.
And I
Yeah.
get that, but he's still at the start of his career. Russell Wilson is towards the end of his career. You've paid a hell of a lot of money.
My biggest concern for Kyler Murray is the injury history now.
And he's a scrambling
He's
quarterback.
a scrambling quarterback.
with an ACL
He's
injury.
not going to be the quarterback.
And he's
to
not easy to
stand in
coach.
the pocket.
He's not coachable.
No, exactly.
Latavius Murray deserves some shout out here. 24 carries, 130 yards and touchdown.
Even Marlon Mack.
Yep, Marlon Mack
touchdown, did he?
Yeah.
got a touchdown. And Brett Rippon, 21 of 26, 197 and a touchdown. He might have been the best performance by a Broncos quarterback this season.
Yeah.
he was
Colt
terrible.
McCoy got a concussion again. That's what happens.
Like I say, when we were watching this, I said, as soon as I saw this matchup, I just went and got the Broncos defense.
Yeah.
In our fantasy playoff game, I was like, that is going to be genius.
Well, even better when they're about to bring in Trace McSorley.
Trace McSorley, former Ravens number 3.
Well, great fucking hoo-ha. Rams 12, Packers 24.
I mean,
Any chance Rodgers and Packers make the playoffs?
the answer is yes, there's a chance, but they aren't better than the Lions. So they would be at best 3rd, and that won't be good enough.
It's just, I think they've got a sneaky chance. I think
Are they beating the Dolphins next week?
Nope.
No.
you just don't know. They've lost 3 in a row. They shouldn't, but
So they got
Where is it?
It's in Miami.
No.
I would say they shouldn't.
Dolphins and then home to the Vikings, home to the Lions.
See, I think they lose that last game to the Lions.
See, I don't
and
know.
that's the one.
I think they could lose all three.
I think they could win too. So it's a tricky one.
Yeah.
Like, I know we wrote them out of the playoffs, didn't we, a few weeks ago? But I think that is really...
Rams became the joint earliest Super Bowl winners to be eliminated with...
1999 Broncos.
Who had just lost John Elway, I believe. So, Baker, 12 of 21, 111 yards, just completely ineffective. Cam Akers was okay, 12 carries, 65 yards. Leaving him on your bench so you didn't get potentially negative points was a bit harsh.
Boo.
And should be punished.
It's just clever play.
Well, as commissioner, I'll if the person affected wants to appeal, I will listen to the appeal. Because it's Steve, I'll tell him to go fuck himself. But anyone else, I would listen to that appeal. So far we're limited from the playoffs. Texans, Bears, Broncos, Rams, Cardinals. I mean, a couple of those teams at the start of the season.
Hold on. Who gets the Rams' really good pick this year? Because it won't be the Rams.
Lions,
yeah. Brilliant.
The Lions currently have the 4th pick overall.
Wow.
Behind the Seahawks, who have Denver's 3rd pick.
Wow.
Yeah. It's of the top 10, 3 of the picks are traded picks. So the other one is Philadelphia have the number 9 pick, courtesy of the Saints.
God, that pick looks worse and worse.
Houston have the 12th pick, courtesy of the Browns.
Of course, yeah.
They also have the 1st pick as well, obviously, because they're shit.
So,
courtesy of being useless. Yeah. Courtesy of Davis Mills. Well done.
Oh, bless. It's not Davis's fault.
No, it's not Davis's fault. Poor Davis.
Actually, do you know what? We didn't mention it at the time because we barely talked about Houston, but Mills, Driscoll, sort of coming in and doing little like how they the Saints.
Yeah.
I think it is helping them confuse defenses at the moment.
All they've got.
I mean, that is all they've got.
It's very much the Andy Dalton, Taysom Hill effect.
Yeah.
It's like they're two completely different players.
And as well, you have to remember for the Saints, Taysom Hill did throw one of their touchdowns this week.
Yeah.
However good Dalton, how we can say Dalton
was
fine.
further than 15 yards. You had to throw the ball.
Yeah.
Okay, in the playoffs, Bills, Chiefs, Eagles, Vikings, 49ers, Cowboys, which means we've got 8 places still to go. I want you to let me know who is going to make the playoffs. Let's lock them in.
Bengals.
So, Bengals.
So 8 places still to go, and by my count, 19 teams to fit in them.
Can we do it
Yes.
AFC then NFC?
So AFC, okay. We've still got so Bills, Chiefs. We still need the AFC South and North division leaders, and then the 3 wild card.
Yeah, so definitely Bengals.
I've given you a list of the playoff teams.
I'm going Bengals and Titans to win those last 2 divisions.
I also think Bengals and Titans. I think the Jags might just miss out.
By a game, maybe.
Yes, same.
I'll agree with that. I don't necessarily agree, but I'll go with
At the moment, I want the Jags to get in because I think they're a much better team than the Titans. I just think the Titans may shit house the way
into
into
the
the end.
wild cards. I think.
So at the moment, it's the Ravens, Chargers, and the Dolphins in 5th, 6th, and 7th.
I think the Dolphins get in.
Yep. I think the Ravens are too far ahead.
I think the Ravens and Dolphins both get in.
I think that may well be the same 8 that are in that list. I'm not sure the other teams will catch them now.
I think.
And just looking at the other teams' schedules, so
What's the Chargers' schedule?
They're 8 and 6, and they must get to play the Raiders again yet, which will be a win.
Well, you'd think, but
they have to play the Colts, the Rams.
I'd say the Chargers.
Good start.
I'd say Ravens, Chargers, Dolphins is probably nailed.
Colts, Rams,
I'd
Broncos.
say the Chargers are there.
Yeah,
Chargers are there.
Yeah.
I think that probably
That
will
would be
the
that
lineup.
would be an epic collapse if they don't make the playoffs now. So I think
Yeah.
what you've got here: Bills, Chiefs, Bengals, Titans, Ravens, Chargers, Dolphins. That is virtually nailed on for the AFC.
Yeah, if it was so.
The only way that could change is if the Dolphins collapse and either the Jets or the Patriots get in,
or the Jags.
or the Jags.
Yeah.
But I can't. I just can't.
You
see
might
it.
see one of those teams.
Yeah, if it is one of those
flip.
teams, it'll be the Dolphins.
Yeah.
Yeah, the swagger from this weekend, I think, will do them good. So, in the NFC, we have the Eagles, Vikings, Niners, and the Cowboys. So we still need an NFC South champions, and then so Cowboys are already in the wild card. So we need.
I'm going to say the Bucks.
I'm going Bucks. Yeah. I think they're the best of a bad bunch.
Yeah.
I think the Giants, because you need two teams to overtake them. I think the Giants are in as well. So then it's really between Commanders, Seahawks, Lions, and Packers.
I'm going with the Lions.
I'm going with the Lions as well.
I've got
momentum.
I've just got this sneaky feeling the Packers might sneak in there.
I think it comes down to Packers Lions last week, and I think for the first time in 46 years, the Lions win it.
I think I would go Packers.
I'm just getting up the schedules so
I
we
think,
can.
I think the Giants will be in now. The Bucks will be in the South.
I think the Commanders, they seem to have just gone off the boil at the wrong time. I think they might slip out of it.
Same with the Seahawks.
Yeah, Seahawks.
Momentum's a big thing at this time of year.
So, for the Bucks this week have the Cardinals. Good start. They also
That's the sort of game they fuck up, though.
Yeah.
Well, let's have a look at the other teams in the NFC South. The Saints have the Browns, which winnable. Falcons have the Ravens, who have just lost to the Browns, and Panthers have the Lions. So Panthers, that's going to be a tough game.
At the Panthers as well.
At Panthers, but I don't think the Lions.
So I can see the Panthers winning that.
Bucks Panthers in week 17. But the Saints have the Eagles.
And then the Falcons.
And the Falcons have, I can't even see where they fucking are. Oh, the Cardinals. So it's not as clear. Oh, and then the final week, Falcons, Bucks, and Saints, Panthers.
Yeah.
I think the Saints might just sneak this. I don't know what the head-to-head...
No. I'm going to say just no.
I just think the quarterback play gets the Bucks there. I know Brady's up and down massive, but I can't trust Andy Dalton to get the Saints into the playoffs.
That would retire Brady on the spot.
100%, yeah.
The only thing is, I've got... Oh, no, because the Eagles, I forgot about the Eagles in week 17. So I've got Eagles winning 2 out of 3. Probably not enough. So, yeah, okay, fair enough. So I'm going...
We're a little bit in... I think we're a little bit in disagreement in the last spot, aren't we?
I think Bucks, Giants, Lions. You're going...
I'd go Bucks, Giants. I think Packers might make it.
Packers.
I'll take Lions.
Same with you, John.
Yeah, well, right.
You know what? I've just got this, it's just Aaron Rodgers, isn't it? You can just...
Yeah.
And I know I've been bad on the Lions. It looks like I'm just on some sort of crusade, doesn't it? But, I can just see them not quite being ready and Aaron Rodgers somehow getting into the playoffs. I can just...
No,
If I'm right, then the NFL is fake.
Well, yeah, let's see. So let's have a look to the week ahead. So Saturday games this week because it's Christmas.
Oh, you didn't say that right.
It's Christmas!
It still wasn't right, but it was better attempts. Quite a few Saturday games.
So, Jags, Jets on the Thursday. Then Saturday, you've got quite a few games. 3 games on Christmas Day. So you can avoid your family by watching the Raiders and the Steelers, Packers at the Dolphins, and the Broncos at the Rams. You must really fucking hate your family.
I will be watching that as
Packers
opposed
Dolphins will be a
Packers
Packers at the Dolphins would be a good
I
laugh.
will be watching all of those games.
I'll be.
Family Christmas is not for me.
Well, actually, I think Raiders Steelers is technically like the one in the morning game.
Yeah.
So it is on Christmas Day, but I will be watching that one. But yeah, Packers. I mean, you can avoid. You'd be avoiding Mrs. Brown's boys with Broncos at the Rams, but I mean, and then Bucks Cardinals.
Is that still on TV? I know it's completely separate to this podcast, but it's horrific.
Because it's appalling.
It looked good at the start of the season.
What?
It looked good at the start of the season.
Oh no, what about Mrs. Brown's boys?
I was on about Broncos Rams.
Not about Broncos Rams.
Not long till you have to go in that home, is it, Jim?
I know, right?
And then 1 in the morning on Boxing Day, it's Bucks Cardinals and Chargers Colts on a. Oh no, thank you.
No, because that's the sort of game that the Chargers just
will
balls
lose.
up.
Yeah.
Balls up.
Dick of the kicker, hits both posts.
See, Eagles Cowboys Christmas Eve. That's the one.
It's a good game, isn't it?
Yeah,
My family think that they might see me over this Christmas, but it's not happening, is it? Let's be honest.
I'll be expected to wrap presents and crap. I'll be busy.
What if anyone, just
I told you what happened the last time I put the NFL round at my mum's house and I put Red Zone on, and she kept asking me why the teams were changing uniforms in each half, and I was like, "No, mother, it's 8 different games." she couldn't follow it at all.
well, if you're about Saturday, let's watch the NFL.
I'll be there. Yeah.
Cool. If anyone's about, come to
Anyone
Gary's.
at all, yeah.
Come to Gary's. We'll be there.
I haven't got any presents for you to build this year.
That was a shame.
It's a shame.
Previous Christmas Eves, you've only been welcome to build cars.
Yeah. But yeah, let's just see because. Anyway,
You've had a stroke there, have you?
I was looking for some
Gone
good
full to
games.
Sean Watson.
That was ballsy.
And maybe Texans at Titans could be a good laugh because let's see if the Titans can actually win a game. I'm not listening. I am listening, but I'm not paying attention. But yeah. Okay. The Toot Sweets .shop sweetest play of the week. So you've already suggested a shit plate of the week.
I'm going to go with just this Chandler Jones stiff arm to run in for 40 yards.
Well, Jim,
I did one of the Titans' interceptions was
the
flipping amazing.
yeah.
But
They
just
stole that from cricket, didn't
yeah, start. Just for comedy value, you've got to go for the Chandler Jones touchdown.
Gary.
Well, I think we should give it actually because I enjoyed it the most. The part where Jacoby Myers threw the ball. So I'd rather we gave it to Jacoby Myers. I can just see if I can put that out there.
See, I remember watching the game at the time, and I said when Rayshon Jenkins intercepted Dak Prescott for the overtime win, I said, that is my sweetest play of the week. And then I got home and I watched Jacoby Myers throw a ball to Chandler Jones. And I was like, okay, yeah. Does anyone talk to Paul?
Also, no. Also, the other nomination for Sweetest Play of the Week should be the Vikings' second half. It just it was incredible.
That still wasn't as funny as Chandler Jones.
No, it wasn't. I'm fairly sure Paul would be okay with picking Chandler Jones.
Well,
running in
the fact that I think Jim has spoken to him about the fact that he's
Basically,
back.
I called the votes beforehand, and we all agree.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
it is funny. Did you think I wouldn't pick that?
I thought you might be
Because
in denial.
I think it's hilarious. It's just ridiculous, but hilarious.
Yeah. But yeah, there was some great plays.
The awkward moment of Belichick waiting to shake Josh McDaniels' hand as well.
I also liked when he got really angry when they were trying to challenge a catch or a play, and he was trying to get the ball played quickly, and they refs wouldn't put the ball down quickly enough, and then it turned out, the play got overturned. And Belichick was going mad on the side.
That was the Aguilar catch.
Yeah, it's like you just can't cheat all the time, Bill. Like, just calm
We've
down,
had our,
mate.
we've had our time. Time to rebuild. We've had our time.
I mean, it is hard. They are aren't they one of the most penalised teams this year?
They are the most penalised team.
Yeah,
They've been in the fewest. They'd been in the fewest penalties in the bottom 5 for like 15 years, and now they are the most penalised team. It's just all falling apart. They're completely unbuttoned.
Yeah.
Move on, Bill. Just go.
I mean, move on, Matt first. I just even if it's just for the last 3 games, so we can just have
Laser pack.
fuck off. But yeah, we'll be back next week. We'll probably be on the Wednesday rather than the Tuesday for all our hardcore fans.
Both of them.
Have to go for an extra day with our dulcet tones. But yeah, we'll be back next week to discuss all the Christmas games. But in the meantime, we hope you have a Merry Christmas. And we'll see you next week. Cheers, guys.
Bye.